Hey, thanks for tuning in. In this video, I'm going to talk about what does it mean to fear Elohim. Among the ways we are commanded to address Elohim include loving him as well as fearing him. And depending upon our background, we may have seen a lot of emphasis placed on loving him or on feeling strong affection for him, but maybe not so much focus on fearing him. Sometimes this is even to the point of not fearing him at all, in my view. Yet despite that, we may know that we are commanded to fear him. We have a number of commands that explicitly tell us to fear him. And this is often understood as revering him or just respecting him. But the Hebrew word that is used for fear literally does mean to fear. We can see this when Pharaoh's army approached Israel in Exodus 14:9. And they reached them, all of the horse of the chariot of Pharaoh, and his horsemen and his formation. And they feared exceedingly, and the sons of Israel cried to Yahuwah. Was Israel simply respecting or revering Pharaoh's army? Or did they fear them? Clearly it was fear, because they both cried out, and in the following verses referred to fear of death. As another example, we see in Deuteronomy 19:18 through 20, regarding false witness and testimony. And the judges shall inquire, behold, false witness, and you shall do to him as he planned to do to his brother. And the ones being left shall hear, and they fear, and they shall not add to do further like this evil thing. The people will become aware of the punishment that this false witness received, and they will fear. They will fear the consequences so that they do not do likewise. So this fearing is a real sense of fear. It's not just feeling honor or respect. Fearing him is part of what he requires of us, like we see in Deuteronomy 10:12 through 13. And now, Israel, what is Yahuwah, your Elohim, asking from you, but only to fear Yahuwah, your Elohim, to go in all of his ways, and to love him, and to serve Yahuwah, your Elohim, in all of your heart and in all of your vitality, to keep the commandments of Yahuwah and his enactments, which I am commanding you today, for your good. This passage clearly lays out what is expected of us. Part of this is fearing him. And we see this reiterated throughout the Torah in a number of different contexts. If we are fearing him, what does that mean? Does that just mean to be afraid of him? Or is there some sort of balance we might be striking with it? Let's look at an example of fear not being applied, and also an example of what I would describe as balancing that fear. Exodus 9:27 through 30. And Pharaoh sent, and he called to Moses and to Aaron, and he said to them, I did wrong this time. Yahuwah is the righteous one, and I and my people are the unrighteous ones. And Moses said to him, and you and your servants, I know that you are not yet fearing from the face of Yahuwah Elohim. Here is an example that Moses describes as not fearing. We could look at this incident in two different ways. If we just isolated the immediate incident, where the plague of hail and thunder was brought upon them, what went on? Pharaoh recognized this punishment upon him, and he recognized that he had done wrong. He also asked Moses to pray on his behalf and to take the plague away, because he was now intending to do what he had been commanded. On the other hand, let's consider a different time frame. Let's consider his pattern of behavior. Before he had done this same thing, he had asked for Moses to pray for him and to take away some of the previous plagues, and he had promised before that he would change his behavior as a result, but he did not. When the immediate consequences and punishments were no longer upon him, he quickly changed his mind and did what he wanted. As Moses said, he was not fearing. So we have an example of what not to do. That simply being afraid when the consequences are upon us does not mean we are actually fearing him. Instead, let's consider Exodus 20:19 through 20. And they said to Moses, "Speak you with us, and we listen. And Elohim must not speak with us, lest we shall die." And Moses said to the people, "You must not fear, for the Elohim came in order to test you, and so that his fear shall be before you, so that you shall not do wrong." In this passage, we might see a sense of a balanced fear, because on the one hand, the people were so afraid of Elohim that they did not want to be in his presence. They did not want to hear his voice, and they were afraid that they would die as a result. Moses told them to not fear, at least not in this way. On the other hand, there was a stated purpose of generating fear, because it says, "So that his fear shall be before you, so that you shall not do wrong." This was an event they were to keep on their hearts and to be conscientious of. But this impression of fear was to be upon them, so that they would remember to not do wrong. They surely recognized that Yahuwah is a powerful being, that he is the one in control, and that they are to be his servants. Fearing him is connected with loving him and seeking after his ways. And we are told that learning his Torah results in us learning to fear him. For example, in Deuteronomy 17:19, the king of Israel is expected to learn the Torah and to learn how to fear Yahuwah. "And it shall be with him, and he shall read in it all of the days of his life, so that he shall learn to fear Yahuwah, his Elohim, to guard all of the words of this direction and these enactments, to do them." He is reading the Torah daily in order to learn to fear Yahuwah and to guard to do the Torah commands. Even someone as knowledgeable as the king, someone who should likely be an expert in the law, is expected to continue reading and to continue learning. Learning the Torah and doing his commands are connected with fearing him. We see similarly in regard to the reading of the Torah, which is done every 7 years, so that all of the people will learn it. Deuteronomy 31:13. "And their sons, which they knew not, they shall listen, and they shall learn to fear Yahuwah, your Elohim." Not only is the king expected to learn the Torah and to learn to fear him as a result, but we are expected to learn to fear him through the Torah also. We are learning His ways, we are guarding to do them, and we are fearing Him as a result. We are commanded to fear Yahuwah. This is not just about fear in the sense of having respect, but it literally does mean to fear Him. But I think there is a balance to how we are fearing Him, because we could feel fear in the sense of hiding ourselves from Him, leaving ourselves unable to act. On the other hand, the fear of Him can be upon us, and we can cause that to motivate us and to keep us on the right track in serving Him, that we would not just forget after trouble passes or when danger didn't seem as imminent, but that it would stay with us, it would be an impression upon us. We can recognize that He is the Mighty One, that He is in control, and that He wants us to learn how to fear Him through learning and doing His Torah. Therefore, let us continue learning. Let us continue updating our understanding and updating how we observe as to how we are loving Him, how we are serving Him, and how we are fearing Him. Thanks for watching, and remember the commands. Shalom.